Imagine for a moment that you're the President of the United States, and you're currently sitting in the Oval Office in the White House. You look down at your calendar for the day and realize that you forgot you were supposed to throw the first ceremonial pitch at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The game begins in 2 hours. Of course you could get there in time, you're the President of the United States after all, but it might not be as simple as you think. Transporting the President of the US across long distances has the potential to be very dangerous, as can be seen from the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. This is why the US government spends over $1 billion per year protecting the President, and the Secret Service spends countless hours assuring the safety of just a few minute-long trip. The first step on any long-distance journey for the President is an 8-minute helicopter ride to Andrews Air Force Base on Marine One. Contrary to popular belief, Marine One is not the name of a specific helicopter, but rather the call sign used for any President Marine transport. The Marine One fleet consists of 11 VH-3 DC Knights and 8 VH-60N Whitehawks. When Marine One travels, it always is in a formation of 5 identical aircraft that switch places during flight. This way, any potential attacker will not know which one of the President is actually in. A new fleet of VH-92s are set to take over in 2024, but the current aircraft are nothing to be scoffed at. The Marine One is built like a tank in the sky. Marine One aircraft are armed to the teeth with ballistic armor, anti-missile warning systems, and anti-missile defenses. The aircraft also has electromagnetic pulse protection. This assures that electronics can withstand any cyber attack or even a nuclear explosion. In addition, Marine One is equipped with ultra-high-speed connection to anywhere in the world. The President can call anyone in the world and has even hosted virtual meetings on board before. Who needs airplane mode when the plane has better connectivity to the internet than the computer I'm editing this on? Once the President arrives at Andrews Air Force Base, he boards Air Force One. The President is always the last person to board the plane, and takeoff starts as soon as the door is shut. Much like Marine One, Air Force One is not a particular plane, but the call sign of any presidential Air Force transport. The role of Air Force One is most commonly served by one of 2 modified Boeing 747s. The Air Force One also rarely flies alone, and even if it appears alone, there's always friendly air support nearby. Other friendly nations are often made aware of the plane's flight path and can even be seen helping escort the President. On board, the President has almost every amenity imaginable in the White House. The plane's interior consists of a presidential suite with a dressing room, shower, and an office, a medical facility with a doctor capable of performing surgery on the President, a dining room and kitchen capable of serving over 3,000 meals, as well as an entire security team are all on board this superjet. In addition to the plane's lavish interior, Air Force One may be one of the most fortified planes in the world. Air Force One can defend itself from any missile attack with chaff and flares. Missile warning systems are also located on the nose and tail of the plane. It is also rumored that the Air Force One has a built-in infrared high-energy laser that could heat an incoming missile and detonate it. Air Force One is also extremely stealthy. Pulse emitters on the outside of the aircraft are capable of jamming enemy radar so that potential enemies can't determine the precise location of the jet. The plane is also able to refuel mid-air, which makes the range of the plane almost unlimited. The jet can circumnavigate 1/3 of the globe on a full tank of gas, but with aerial refueling, the plane has enough provisions on board to last for a full week without needing maintenance. This monster of a plane doesn't come cheap though, and the plane costs over $200,000 per flight hour. Once the President steps out of his plane at the airport, he will shortly board his Cadillac limousine, more formally known as the Beast. The Beast, or the presidential car, might be the safest car ever made. With bulletproof windows and doors that are as thick as the length of a piece of paper, run-flat tires that allow the car to travel miles on a punctured tire, and a completely sealed interior to protect anyone inside from a chemical attack, it's safe to say the President is in good hands. The President's car is also not to be messed with either. On board the car are night vision optics, pump-action shotguns, tear gas cannons, and even rocket-propelled grenades. The vehicle also contains 2 bags of the President's blood type in case of an emergency. Just like traveling by helicopter or by plane, when the President travels by car, he also never travels alone. The President always travels in what is called a motorcade. A typical presidential motorcade consists of a total of 40 vehicles, all serving as aid for the President. The route car drives through the designated route about 5 minutes before the rest of the motorcade. Following the route car is about 20 to 30 motorcycles. Their job is to clear the path of any remaining civilian vehicles and to close any intersections crossing the President's path. The next piece is a secure package, or the essential core of the motorcade. This is the section that the Beast drives in. but you can never be sure which one the president is in, since there are always two identical presidential limos side by side. They go as far as having the same exact license plate, so any potential attackers will not be able to tell the difference. The car leading the secure package is the USSS Electronic Countermeasure Suburban. Its purpose is to jam any remote-activated explosives that could have been set along the route. On top of the car are two electronic warfare sensors that can detect any missiles. The car is speculated to contain smoke grenades and flares to distract the missiles, but this is all speculation, of course, since as far as we know, the Suburban's countermeasures have never had to be used before. The control car contains the most essential staff, such as the president's military aide and doctors. The last two cars in the secure package are the CATs, or the counter-assault teams. These two cars are filled with Secret Service members who follow the president. You can easily spot these two cars because the back window is always open with a Secret Service team inside. Behind the package are usually vans for press, and then the ID car. The ID car is responsible for communicating to any outside counter-surveillance teams about any potential threat along the route. Behind the ID car is a large truck. This truck is the Hazardous Materials Mitigation Unit. It is responsible for dealing with any chemical, biological, or nuclear threat to the president. The next car in the sequence is the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner's responsibility is to connect the motorcade to the outside world with satellites and communication systems. This way, the president will always have contact to anywhere in the world while in the motorcade. Additionally, a local ambulance trails the motorcade in case of injury or medical emergency to anyone inside the motorcade. Lastly, 3 local police cars make up the very end of the motorcade. These 3 cars are there to make sure that no vehicle catches up to the motorcade and infiltrates it from behind. It is important to note that this configuration of vehicles can be changed depending on the environment, but this is just the typical motorcade you would see, especially in a city. In total, your trip consists of an 8-minute helicopter ride from the White House South Lawn to Andrews Air Force Base, a 1 hour and 2-minute ride on Air Force One to O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, followed by a 15-minute motorcade from the airport to Wrigley Field. And after adding in an additional 10 or so minutes to account for minor delays and transfers between transportation methods, the total trip turns out to be about 646 miles in 1 hour and 35 minutes. Just in time for you to throw out the first ceremonial pitch. This trip would take an average commuter over 4 hours, assuming they have decent traffic and no delays. This just really goes on to show how efficient, but much more time and preparation goes into transporting the most powerful man in the world. You could easily say that transporting the president is a logistical nightmare. But do you want to know what isn't a logistical nightmare? Hitting that subscribe button. 99% of you are still not subscribed. But in all seriousness, if you want to subscribe, it would help out a ton. And after you do that, you can go ahead and check out this other awesome video right here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.